Hey Siri, what is the Waste of Time podcast?
The Waste of Time podcast is an independently recorded podcast that covers a wide range of topics, hosted by Let's Talk Cars host 𝘊𝙧 𝙑𝙧.
Hello, welcome to Waste of Time podcast. This is episode number 17, or as the slide says, episode number 𝘊𝙧. I'm 𝘊𝙧. Here we go with Ben Rose. Say hello, Ben.
Hello, Ben.
Oh god, you did that joke again. Also, the latency is horrible. Also, we actually have an ad read for a sponsor coming up pretty soon after the first slide. So, at least if I remember to do the ad read anyway. Ben, let's get started with Life in Lockdown.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay. How bad is the latency?
Not bad. Your audio was a bit like stuttery in the beginning, but it's fine now.
All right, cool. So for our first topic, we have it's a California update. So if you live in California, recently California has seen what they say is a giant resurgence in COVID cases. Oliver, if you could just find the graph from the New York Times, it looks like we had an uncharacteristic rise in COVID cases over the last few days.
Was it last episode or the episode before where we mentioned that COVID cases in California are actually going down?
Last episode. Because COVID cases in California started going down last week. I think it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And they had a sustained decrease last week. And so I was like, wow, that's really cool. But it turns out that they hadn't counted 300,000 previous tests, right?
Well,
so
then.
They didn't count 300,000 previous test results. But it was from, May, right? So they just decided, hey, fuck it. We're going to add all of them to yesterday's, the day before.
That's not how that works.
Tallies.
That's not.
So it looks like it went up, a lot. And then
That's the stupid real world equivalent of waiting to open loot boxes in games to make it look like you got a lot more in one day than you actually did. That's just stupid. And also, it helps no one and makes the numbers look really fucking inflated.
Yeah, exactly. And it really hurts everyone.
That was a really random but also very accurate, it's kind of sort of accurate, analogy.
That should be a moment. Anyway,
yeah, actually, so
our second topic, much like Sonic X Mario fanfiction, it's too hot. It's really hot.
Ben, are you admitting that you've actually read that?
What?
Are you admitting that you've actually read such fiction on the internet?
You know what? Anyway, so how's the weather been recently? It wasn't. Yes, I have, but it was for research purposes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anyway, Ben, sorry, what were you saying?
Yeah, so recently in San Francisco, I was just reading this, and today, basically my head fell off. I was gonna go jogging today. Yes, I was gonna go jogging today, but it was so hot I couldn't even get outside.
How hot was it there? Because it was fogged in here today. Where I live.
90.
It's gonna be 90 where I live tomorrow, apparently.
Yeah, apparently it could be 100 over here. So it's that time of year again, folks. You know that time of year if you live in the Bay Area, because whenever we get to a specific point in San Francisco, it goes to 100. It's 3 weeks,
it goes from 50 degrees at 9 in the morning to 100 to say 80 degrees at 9 in the morning in about the space of maybe a week and a half in San Francisco. I lived there for 4.5 years, and I remember during summer, 1 week it'll be 50, a nice cool walking or jogging fogged in temperature in the morning, right? And then the next week, it'll be about 30 degrees hotter. That math is not the same as my previous statement. I used wrong math, sorry. Anyway, point being, I can just imagine that's going to be horrible. Sorry about that. That's yikes. I'm now glad, one, that I don't live in San Francisco anymore, and also, two, that I have an indoor treadmill I can use at my house, because I got that a few weeks ago. I'm actually using that again now, anyway.
My parents actually sold the fucking exercise bike.
Oh, really? Why? Was it not being used, or what?
Yeah. Well, it wasn't being used, and then I decided I wanted to get fit over the things.
Oh.
Fuck. Yeah, so you want to go into your topic? Because I was going to my topic first, and you are the first on the list going down.
Oh, with the personal topics? I got a rather unwelcome email from my college the other day regarding my classes. Now, I still have all the classes I signed up for, which, again, if you've been listening to the podcast previously, I've gotten pretty good choices. I was picked pretty high for my classes. I got most of the classes I actually, chose to sign up for. With my one fallback one being a class I actually really enjoy anyway, that being photography. What the fuck? Sorry.
What was the email?
Anyway, that pretty much all except for my UChem class, which is just it's just pretty much a general college class, a bunch of different general courses at once. I think it's pretty much just general college seminar, right? All my classes apart from that will be online, with that one being decided later on. We might, although I think my photography one, they might decide to hold that outside unless we actually need to use monitors or something like that, right? Because like if we're just practicing techniques, whatever. For intro to photography, they might decide to hold that class outside because that makes a lot of sense considering, photography.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was looking forward to actually having some in-person classes, but now with I guess, resurgence of COVID on the rise again in multiple places, including Oregon, that ain't happening. So, yeah. They've also not
Do you think you're gonna go up?
Well, no, I mean I am. I'm just gonna be doing the classes from my dorm. So I'm going to be doing that for my dorm.
Oh.
Actually, Ben, I think I don't remember what day to start, but I will actually be on campus for a few days before I actually start classes, and one of those days is a Thursday.
Oh shit!
And you know what happens on Thursdays? If you guys somehow don't know, we record these podcasts on Thursday. Yeah. So also, since I'm with UCAM, which is like a kind of a disability, it's not disability resources, but kind of it provides advantages for students with learning disabilities in some cases, right? I get to move in. It's supposed to be a week early, but due to COVID, it's a day earlier than my roommate. So they don't get there on Friday. So it means I'll have the entire. I feel like I'll be there on Thursday, and I'll pretty much have the dorm to myself. So we have to record a podcast today. If I'm not, to be fair, I will have I think what do you call it, an orientation that day or either that or the day before. So if I'm not completely swamped with getting overwhelmed by moving into my college room, stuff like that, then we will definitely be able. So like. If I'm not totally overwhelmed by getting used to the college experience, that type of thing, we would probably have a podcast that day. Also, as we get closer to us starting college, we'll talk about the schedule in the next few episodes. I think probably in a few episodes time we'll talk about the overall schedule of like how or if we're gonna be doing podcasts, because we want to do it. We need to figure out the technical difficulties. We need to figure out exactly how we're gonna be able to record them. Without causing inconvenience to our roommates or people in our living space at college. So anyway, we'll talk more about that as we get closer to us leaving for college in the near future. So yeah, I'm not gonna be able to. Again, I'm gonna be on college. I'm gonna be on site in my dorm. Doing stuff like that. But one thing, I've been checking my email daily. I've actually have notifications turned on. I've actually got like alert notifications turned on for Gmail from like the, I guess, main people who send emails. Like the main faculty or head of school. That send the emails to students saying, hey, this is our COVID update. So I've got like pretty much COVID update status alerts turned on from my email inbox from my school, from Southern Oregon University. And one thing they actually not mentioned, which I thought would be kind of obvious to mention, I guess. They've not really mentioned anything about the dining hall and how that setup's going to work. Obviously it's going to be different. They've not normally it's a buffet style dining hall. It's a dining hall, yeah. It might just be here's a pizza in a box or here's a salad in a box. You know what I mean? That type of stuff, which I assume is what's going to happen. That obviously would make the most sense and still make it logical to actually eat. So that's probably going to be eating outside as well, because Southern Oregon University has a nice outside area. Just great.
Whose side? Whose side, and why are you eating them out? Asterisk Perch joke. Let's go.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? Since you made that reference, I'll keep that in there. She actually does listen to the podcast.
Told me about you. You make good jokes.
Yeah, that's the only thing I mentioned is her. Yeah. But she actually does listen to the podcast sometimes. Anyway, shout out to my friends from Nifty. Yeah. Anyway.
Shout out.
I'll keep that in there. Anyway, but yeah. Point being that, yeah, so anyway, as I was saying, I think the actual eating of the food might be moved to out of the dining hall. Because, again, there's a massive open courtyard space outside the dining hall. But again, we'll see. Also, they've also not mentioned how the gym's going to work either. Because they got a brand new fitness center. That's absolutely awesome. But I've seen it when I was on tour there. When I went there to do tour there a few times, right? And it's awesome looking fitness center, great equipment, stuff like that, but they've not mentioned how that's going to work with COVID. Because, while you can still exercise with, mask on, doing stuff like a treadmill and stuff like that can be a lot more difficult because there's just oxygen breathing and stuff like that.
I jog in a mask, and even though oxygen doesn't come down, it just still feels weird to be. It's just the humidity around your
Yeah.
Also, I got all the classes that I wanted except one, but I'm gonna probably get that one on August 31st when the restriction.
That's good.
comes.
That's really good.
It's actually really. So remember when I said that my psych class was filling up?
Right.
Did I tell you the story?
Maybe. Go ahead.
So, what was it?
If you have told me, I'll just cut it out of the
Monday,
video.
right?
But yeah.
Yeah. So on Monday, wait, no.
Yeah.
Anyways, on Monday I had there were 332 out of 332 spots on that, and I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna get it. But I checked at 12:59, and we registered at 1, and it said there were 331 out of 332 spots. So
Ooh.
I just grabbed my fucking shit and I just snagged that class. It was so fucking awesome. I got the class, I got the discussion, I got what I needed, and somebody, the teacher for that class, which is Psych 7A, even sent me an email saying, wow, congratulations, you snagged the class. Now here's my textbook that you don't need to buy because I'll give it to you for free. And I was like, wow.
Nice.
It's cool. It was probably just an automated email anyways.
But
But
still.
yeah, so that's some UCI stuff. Also, my college is being weird with housing too. Because in the parent meeting for orientation, they told the parents, hey, we're probably just going to have singles, right? So prepare for that. And then they didn't tell us kids that was going to happen. They told the coaches of some athletic teams that they would. I think soccer and track got that. But they told some other kids like football, well, actually, I don't think they have football, but like baseball and basketball, that we wouldn't have only singles, we'd have doubles. And then today, one housing unit basically said, you know what, we're only having single rooms. And then they upped everyone's aid to the point where everyone was thinking they might get single rooms. So we don't actually know if they're just going to make us all
What
singles,
the
but
hell?
I don't really care.
That's stupid and confusing.
Because I'm fine having an all single. I just don't want to live in this house, you know? And if we have an all single, Oliver, that means I don't even need to leave my room to do the podcast. My classes. Anyways,
Yeah.
So also, finally, this is a really sad note. So some of my friends from San Francisco and beyond watch or listen to this podcast. And by the way, hi everyone, thanks for watching. But so this Saturday, my friend had his birthday party, and he's going away this Saturday. So last Saturday he had the birthday party, and I could have gone. It was really close to my house, but it was in that one place where there's like the food truck place.
Yeah.
And I was really scared. I was really scared to go there, and I didn't want to go.
Is this the one you mentioned, I think,
So
in the last podcast, or was it not?
Yeah, last podcast.
Yeah.
It's a few podcasts ago, actually.
Yeah.
And it was, that place is hella crowded, and I didn't want to go.
Yeah.
So I was very iffy on going, and I decided at the last minute that I wasn't going to go because I didn't want to put myself and my family at risk before going off to college.
Probably smart.
And it turns out that those people, they had a really good time, and I was really sad. And then the next day they went out and got drunk, and you know what? That was the last thing they did. And I'm probably never going to see them for like a year. So that sucks. And then one of my other friends, Oliver, you know him, Harry.
He's in our group chat.
Had this whole... Exactly, he created a group chat. Hi, Harry.
He's in our group chat that's gone completely dormant.
Exactly, Harry, you need to respond.
Yeah.
Anyways, so...
There was definitely some intent behind that statement, yeah.
Yes. He decided he was going to film a vlog about the last things he would do in the city before he left. And,
That's a cool idea.
So I was like, you know what, I don't really want to, because he had a lot of my other friends come with him too, so I was like, I don't know if I want to do that, and I was like, I ended up not going. So my friends are so sweet, they FaceTimed me throughout the whole thing, and I was still in his vlog.
That's awesome, that's awesome.
It was really fun, and thank you guys so much, I really felt included off of that. But yeah, so that's our life in lockdown, and that took us about 20-something minutes. So let's go to our ad read. Oliver, take it away.
All right, so this episode of the Wasteland Podcast is the first time we've ever actually had a sponsor. This episode is brought to you by Martinelli's Crayon Apple. Martinelli's Crayon Apple, go fuck yourself. If you cannot find sparkling apple from Martinelli's, don't buy anything else. Martinelli's Crayon Apple, it sucks. And yeah, no, we were not actually sponsored. It's just a drink that assaults your taste bud. The apple stuff is good, but their crayon apple is disgusting. The apple's
Martinelli's crayon apple. The only good use for it The only good use for it is as a flotation device, so you can float it.
That's not what our voice messages say from you, Ben.
I'm sorry, you're right. Sorry. Martinelli's apple juice. Shake it up, stick it up your ass, and it's basically a dildo.
Yeah, Ben, if you actually refuse to, actually say it on the podcast, you know for a fact it would have recorded and played the audio from our voice messages.
Yeah, you would have just. You're also probably just gonna clip that too.
Also, by the way, guys, maybe. Also, it's not really long enough to be a moment. Also, about the whole waste time moments thing, it's not if I say, oh, this might be a waste time moment. If you guys don't know, the moments like the little small semi-animated things we make that they're like 20 to 30 seconds. 30, maybe sometimes a minute long videos, right? Anyway, yeah, that doesn't really count. That was actually in the podcast. That's actually in the proper video. The whole Ben the Minion thing. Anyway, though, like the moments, they don't. If I say something's been a moment, it might take a few episodes before it actually comes out because those things are a pain in the ass to edit. Also, I edit a lot of videos, and also on the same note, if I say oh yeah, this thing was in the last podcast, it might have been maybe 2-3 episodes ago because again I edit a lot of videos and podcasts. They seem to run together sometimes when I edit them. Like in my mind, they seem like it's like something from like say 2 episodes ago. In my mind, I might think, oh, it was last episode when it wasn't. Anyway, let's move on to viewer mail.
Into viewer mail. We don't have any.
No, we actually don't, which is this is sad. We had one, I think, 2 episodes ago, right? We had some 2 episodes ago. Was that it? It was the hotel one, right?
Yeah, dude, that was on the hotel one.
That was fun.
If anyone wants to submit a request about talk about the Bass Pro Shops pyramid, I could do that. That would be really fun. But yeah,
Bass Pro Shops pyramid.
Anyways, let's talk about baseball. Next segment, MLB report.
All right, so this is the MLB report, and honestly, I thought the standings would have evened out by now. The Rockies are still in first place in the National League West with a 12-win, 6-loss record. Now, some note about this is Charlie Blackmon's batting average is over 500. This is a lot. The highest batting average ever barely exceeded 400. That was over. I want to say that was about half a century ago. So it's been a while. And yes, okay, batting average, it has to do with plate appearances and hits and stuff like that. And so obviously they're going to get less at bats since it's a shorter season. But still, that's still pretty impressive. I don't know where this is going to go, and if it keeps going upwards, maybe I'll do an update on that. I don't really know. But yeah, he's
steroids.
Well, no, I mean it's also a shortened season. He's always just been a good power. He's also been always a good contact hitter. And maybe we don't know. There honestly have not been a lot of performance-enhancing drug cases in MLB in the last few years anyway. The last one I could actually think of was D. Gordon.
But they're doing that.
Oh, yeah, probably, yes. Although, I mean, now they're doing drug tests, of course, obviously, but also COVID tests. So they're testing other things that could also lead them to getting caught. So it's even, I guess, in some ways hard to do that now. But still. Anyway, moving on from that, so yeah, Rockies leading the NL West with a 12-6 record. We got the NL Central, Cubs again leading. I think they've been leading since since the first time we actually did this report when the season actually started properly a few weeks ago. With 13-3, Marlins are now officially, in terms of win percentage, 1 game above the Braves, and they played less games, 8-4 record. Now, again, the game that they missed because of the COVID spike, they will make up those games in the form of doubleheaders at some point in the season. Moving on to the American League, we have the Oakland Athletics, Oakland, obviously, leading.
Let's go.
Leading the league leading their division of the AL West with 13-6. I can't remember what A is actually doing. I follow the Giants and National League Baseball more than I follow American League Baseball. I do just follow baseball in general a lot. It's actually one sport. I think I mentioned before that. I think it's actually the one sport that I actually really do follow. Anyway, I can't really think the A's have gotten into the postseason a couple times in the last, I'd say, decade or so, without much real success. But I can't remember a time that they actually took a big lead even early on like this in terms of games won in the division. Anyway, at least not in the good maybe last decade or so. Anyway, AL Central,
Anyway,
AL Central, the Minnesota Twins, again staging some sort of comeback after a pretty much entire franchise existence long of mediocrity. They got into the postseason last year, and they were a pretty good team. So pretty solid, although they did lose to, I think it was the Yankees. Anyway, speaking of the Yankees, they are leading the AL East with a record of 12-6. Also, if I had not mentioned the Twins' record, it was 12-7. Anyway, we also got to talk about COVID and MLB, and no more big team-wide cases. There were, I think, 2 players who have been isolated, and none of the players on the team have even shown any sort of symptoms at all. And of course, they're doing daily tests now, as well, stuff like that. So they've done a much better job. Okay, to be fair, that could be this. I think it was the first week of the season we had the whole Marlins outbreak. That's because the Marlins managing staff was an idiot, and they knew about that and chose not to do anything about it. Sorry, not an idiot. They were a collection of idiots.
Take their own responsibility.
Yes, I think every other team, if they have had any COVID tests positive for players, they've actually taken action to stop that from spreading. Unlike the Miami Marlins, who they're back to playing games now, and they've actually done. There's actually a whole thing that they won. I think they won like 7 out of 8 games or whatever it was. But yeah, no more big COVID case outbreaks on any team as of right now because the managers are not being idiots when it comes to actually controlling the team and their virus. Again, the managers are not ignoring virus flare-ups. If there are any on their teams, they are taking care of it properly. Anyway, let's move on to Ben's slide.
Okay, well, this is actually going to be a really short one. We're going to talk about the new Oliver. I know you don't follow this kind of music, but it's this new song by Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion called WAP, which stands for Wet Ass Pussy. And essentially, imagine Sir Mix-a-Lot, right? You know,
right.
I like
Yep.
butts and I cannot lie.
Yep.
Imagine that, but by girls and talking about guys. Just imagine that, right? So, as you can imagine, a lot of conservative numbnuts went fucking nuts at this shit. Like, so nuts. It was a nut fest, honestly. And you know what? I'm not going to say anything about that, about the way I choose to portray it. But yeah, it was basically a nut fest because also these guys are mostly all men. And they were just like, oh my God, how indecent, how bad. And this guy, if you don't know who he is, thank you. Thank you for not knowing who he is. I'm sorry, I'm going to ruin your innocence. His name's Ben Shapiro. He did an entire reading, like a slam poem of WAP. And he said, wet ass P-word. This kid, it is some of the funniest shit I have ever heard. Have you heard his laugh? No, you probably haven't. But Ben Shapiro's laugh is it's like a Joker laugh. It's bad. This guy is evil and dumb and bad, and I hate him. Okay, that's it for my slide.
What was the overall point of that segment?
The overall point is just stream Wet Ass Pussy. It's a good song.
All right, so we're gonna move on now. Okay. And Ben,
maybe cut that.
Let's that stays in. All right. Anyway, Ben, we have a Patreon, don't we?
Yes. Week after week, we keep telling you the same thing. Don't donate to our Patreon.
And week after week, we're still correct because no one has.
To actually. I was gonna go through a bigger thing. I was gonna say some sucker was stupid enough to actually join. Oh wait, no, they weren't.
No.
Anyways, do not join our Patreon. You will get nothing out of it. I don't know why we still promote it.
Because it's funny. Why not?
One of these days it's gonna lose its luster. But until then, we'll promote the shit out of it. We have a Patreon. Please do not donate. Whatever you do.
Link description below.
It's the worst idea. It's
Again,
not even reverse
the money, yeah, I know. The money does not go towards the podcast. It goes. So.
And we might. For legal reasons, that's a joke. That's a joke. I don't write off shit on my taxes. Okay. So for part 2, as you all know, we're going to talk about this in the next slide, news, but there's been some recent vaccine development. Now, I want to caution you by saying, don't take every single vaccine that comes on the market. Like, we'll talk about this later, but in this specific instance, do not take this specific vaccine right now. When an American vaccine comes out, even if it's funded by the government, even if you think, oh, it only has 60% effectiveness, even if you're scared of shots, take your fucking arm, roll up your sleeve, and get jabbed. Because you need to get the vaccine. It's important. You need to do it for your society. Think about little Jimmy. Little Jimmy can't go to school right now. He's horny as fuck. He wants to see his girlfriend. Let him see his girlfriend. Hashtag let Jimmy see his girlfriend. Get the fucking vaccine.
That took a real sharp detour.
Yes.
I think it's like,
also,
I think it's like when you say little Jimmy, I imagine like a first grader or a second grader, and then you went on to that. I'm like, oh, okay.
Wait. Cut that.
I'll think about that. Might say, I don't know. We'll see.
Cut that shit. Holy fuck. I'm so sorry. That was a bad joke. Anyways, before we talk about the recent vaccine developments, we're just going to talk about vaccines in general, but we're also going to talk about something else. We need to do our local segment. We actually have a lot this week. Weekly Fuck 12! And coming at you live from San Francisco, this is your Weekly Fuck 12. That's right, Weekly Fuck 12, where we break down some of the shittiest things that the cops did this week. Okay, there you go. That's your intro.
Was that
So,
what
this
the
week-
fuck? Was that Family Feud?
Yes, that's actually
Ben?
what's it called?
Okay, if I remember... Okay, actually, at some point in the future, maybe not in this episode, but I'll take that clip and make the entire intro to Weekly Fuck 12 just that. I'll cut out your actually nice, well-made intro and make it that.
Anyways, it's time for your Weekly Fuck 12. So, Chicago. Police erupted in violence after a young black man was shot and killed. They shot and killed a young black man, and in response, Chicago residents decided to take matters into their own hands. They protested, and they quote-unquote got violent. They didn't kill anybody. They kind of just, took stuff from an IKEA and a Best Buy.
Okay.
Okay, cool. And then the police responded, as they do, with mass arrests. The federal troops were sent in. there were some shots fired. People died.
This is what America is, by the way. For all of you outside the U.S., this is what America pretty much is. There's overreactions to everything.
Yo, you took a Lego set. Time to die. What the fuck, man? God. People are more important than property. Anyways, let's also talk about Portland, Oregon. So Portland, Oregon recently has seen a gigantic spike in police-related violence because the police have loved to bring in their federal troop counterparts and have decided that they're going to barricade off the federal court office.
Hooray.
And the DHS has been abducting people. Yep, they've been abducting people in unmarked vans. They've been, being assholes, just, the DHS. And there was a man who was an off-duty officer, I think, or maybe he used to be an officer, and he decided, hey, I'm going to throw a pipe bomb at these people, and he did. And
for fuck's sake. God damn it.
And he threw them at the protesters because obviously, but the protesters are violent though. We need to crack down because, there's pipe bombs being fucking thrown at them. God, people are stupid. Okay, so in Berwyn, I think it was Iowa, the police decided, what are we going to do today? Well, we're going to violate people's sense of security and safety. And today, at a nonviolent protest, we're going to take out our cameras and gigantic film equipment and begin filming people and send that to the DHS so that they can dox people and get them fired from their jobs. What the fuck? This is serious, people. America is fucking wonderful. We love the cops, guys. This is a cop-loving show. Anyways, so also, let's talk about Bend, Oregon. So in Bend, Oregon, it was so... Have you ever been to Bend, Oregon, Oliver?
No.
Okay, well, Bend, Oregon. The police there got so fed up with the federal troops' presence because only they can shoot protesters that they decided that they were going to warn the protesters to say, the federal police are coming to your property, please be nice. And then, then the protesters scattered and the police rounded people up and started, doing what they do. And that's just how it goes, apparently. So let's talk about some other stuff. Some good news first. I didn't put this down. Ilhan Omar won her primary. Let's fucking go. Rashida Tlaib, I think I said this last time. She won her primary. Let's fucking go. It's wonderful to see that these progressive people are being reelected. And it's also wonderful to see that Cori Bush was elected, for example. I remember last week we talked about that. But let's also talk about something else. So, Oliver, have you seen these ads against Trump that are like, Trump can't walk, he's stupid.
I have not.
Know how to walk. Or this stupid Trump train is tiny, his dick is the smallest thing I have ever seen. Couldn't even see it with a microscope.
What are you talking? I've not seen this, no.
Okay, so there's these great savage advertisements put out by this group called the Lincoln Project against Trump. All it is personal attacks, which is all right, whatever. But the Lincoln Project is being loved by these people. And the thing about the Lincoln Project is, it's just George W. Bush's administration that's running it. By the way, his former administration.
Yep.
And all the people in it, like Bill Kristol, a lot of them are running it, and they want to basically turn the Democratic Party into the George W. Bush Party. And Oliver, you know how we feel about George Bush on this platform.
Yeah.
Katrina, Al-Qaeda, both start with a K, that kind of stuff. George Bush is
I thought you were going to go to the Atwater joke instead, but right.
George Bush. It's a different Bush, Oliver.
I know, but it's still funny.
It's not HW.
It's still funny.
Same Bush. Hey.
All right.
Anyways,
that one's just bad. All right. That's getting cut.
The Lincoln Project.
I'm not cutting that because it's offensive. I'm cutting that one because it's stupid.
The Lincoln Project is ass. Please don't support it. They're just Republicans trying to turn into Democrats, trying to make the Democratic Party theirs. All right. Speaking of the Democratic Party, we're going to move past the second to last one. We'll talk about that last. So the DNC, Democratic National Committee, gave my girl AOC 60 seconds to speak in like a pre-recorded TikTok-style video, while they gave John Kasich, a literal Republican who has been fighting against the Democratic Party for his entire political career and supported and voted for Trump in the last election, more than 5 minutes to speak live at the Democratic National Committee.
Ugh.
They are not your friends. If we're voting for the Democrats, we are only voting for them out of convenience.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck anymore. Like, party loyalty to me is dead.
Same.
As soon as they fucking...
Absolutely, yeah.
It hurts.
It
hurts. We need to...
Yeah.
You want to say anything
I was
else?
going to say, it's like...
Go ahead.
It's like I'm going to vote for whoever I think is the best president. And at this point in time, it's definitely not Donald Trump, in my opinion, so I'm going to vote for other. Yeah.
It's really like I'm not voting for Joe Biden because he's Joe Biden.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I'm going to vote for him in general.
Yeah.
Next thing I'm going to talk about, but fuck, dude, it's upset. Like, speaking of the cop, Kamala Harris, holy shit. Now, I know some of you guys might be Kamala stans, you might understand. I just encourage you guys to look up Kamala Harris talking about her truancy record in the city of San Francisco, her not allowing transgender inmates to transition. I don't know, what else did she do? Oh, she locked up nonviolent drug offenders, refused to prosecute the big banks in Wall Street, and is basically a cop. But hey, she called Biden a racist in the debate because he was a segregationist, and now she's his vice president. So, guess there was no bad blood between them at all.
Yeah, it's...
I fucking hate this.
Yeah, it's a whole political thing in the U.S. It's been a mess for... I say this and 2016 have been incredibly messy for elections, for presidential elections in the U.S.
I think if anything, it's shown us that we cannot trust either the two parties to get anything done. And if we want to get something done, we need to go out in the streets and protest ourselves.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. But let's talk about the final. Is it funny news? I guess it would be funny news. All right. So, Great Mother Russia has a wonderful fucking COVID vaccine. And,
is it called a bullet to the head?
Problem. Basically, it could be. Because they have not tested it in large-scale efficacy trials. So, as you know, whenever there is a vaccine, you need 3 trials. A phase 1 trial on like specific human cells to see if it generates an immune response, meaning if it responds to like the virus with antibodies, which are the things that the body uses to destroy and identify viruses. The second trial, you put it in like a group of a representative swath of the population, so you can tell if it's safe and effective, right? And the third one, and you put it in the largest, like 10,000, 30,000 people, to see if it's actually effective and if it doesn't have a lot of long-term bad side effects. And so in the United States, I think there's 3 companies already that are going through phase 3 trials. There's, I know Moderna, BioNTech, and I'm pretty sure Fosun Pharmaca.
Yeah.
But I know that in China, they already, so they're doing phase 3 now. In China, they did phase 3 on an older vaccine candidate, and they found it was moderately effective, so they used that. But in America, we decided that we needed to do phase 3 trials before anyone would get them, because obviously nobody's going to take it if it's not a phase 3 trial.
Yeah.
But Russia is just like, no, fuck it. We're just going to not have a phase 3 trial and just fucking silver bullet, and we'll see if it works or not. And
yikes.
That is a yikes. Yeah. Whenever you're injecting someone with something and you have not proved it in any trial, like a large-scale efficacy trial, you are making a giant mistake. Doesn't help that this uses live virus too.
Yeah.
So that's fucked. Yeah, so if you're in Russia and you're listening to this, my advice, don't take the COVID vaccine there. Wait until there is a safe and effective option, or until it's proven effective within your country.
I doubt this video is going to be available in Russia for some reason.
Actually, Russia has some pretty good internet connection. But like,
I mean, like probably something about something. I don't know. Control content. I don't know.
Well, see, it won't get to Russia now because fuck the Russian government, fuck Putin, and fuck Yeltsin. All right, cool. Now let's talk about the next song, the fun part, Xbox Deals of the Week.
All right, so for the last few weeks, I think like last week was like Bethesda games. Before that was simulators. I think we had WB games before that, and I believe even before that was Ubisoft, right? So, anyway, even if those aren't not quite in the right order, point is that the last few weeks, since we started doing this segment a few weeks ago, every single week has had some sort of theme to what games are on sale. And this week, they just went fucking nuts and said, go, here are some games, bye. And that's not to say that these are bad titles. There's some pretty good deals up here. So, before I get to that again, the free gold games, they're going to be changing next podcast. Right now, they are Portal Knights, again, a very cool kind of like little Minecraft kind of thing with, I guess, more RPG style. Some Dunk Lords, a fighting / animated basketball game, and MX Unleashed, a fun yet not exactly well-controlled motorcycle like dirt bike motocross kind of game from 2004, which was again the backwards compatible title for this part of the month. Anyway, I guess I said before, like there's like a bunch of random games. Like a few of these actually popped up at other sales throughout this past month, such as Fallout 4, which was $30 and now $90. Sorry, it went from $30 to $9. I bought that. Currently installing right now. Then we also have Wolfenstein New Order. I bought this one last week because it was $20 and now it's $5. I believe it's $5 or $6. And it's an absolutely fantastic game. One of the best and most refreshing first-person shooters I've played in years. It's just so good. Now the reason it's $20 is not because it's a bad game. It's because it came out in 2014, and by now, right, most people who bought the game, like it's like 2014, right? It's been out for almost 6 years, pretty much, right? And they think that anyone who will have wanted to buy the game by now has bought it. Not like Nintendo, who's still trying to sell a Pokemon game from 2013 for $60 on the eShop. I'm not kidding about that. Anyway, I mean, to be fair, Pokemon X and Y are good games. That's 2013, 2014, but still, I mean, by now, anyone wanted to buy those games would have already bought them, especially since it's not even their current handheld system anyway, 3DS. But anyway, so yeah, so that's it. Like Fallout 4 was $30, now is $9. Wolfenstein: The New Order again came out in 2014, and the graphics actually hold up pretty well, and the gameplay is again still fantastic. Also also the difficulty levels in the game, so many different difficulty levels. Also, I mean, it's a game it's first-person shooter, but multiple ways around levels, stealth, optional stealth, which I love. Not mandatory, but optional stealth. There's so many different ways to play and experience the game. It's just awesome, as well as different difficulty levels. That game is, I think it's like $5 or $6, and Ark Survival Explorers Edition. I don't play Ark Survival Evolved. I played it, but yeah, I've played it. I don't own the game. My friend has it. I played it. It's a fun survival game. I'm pretty sure if you know gaming, you probably heard of Ark Survival Evolved, or at least in fact, you probably even seen it. It's just a fun little, it's pretty much surviving game with dinosaurs. It's fun. I don't own it, but if you want to get the, I guess, kind of, they call it the Explorer Edition. I guess it's kind of just like the ultimate edition of the game with a bunch of extra content, right? That game went, so anyway, the Ark Survival Evolved Explorer Edition went from $89.99 down to $22.49. So that's a pretty big deal if you like games like that and stuff like that. So yeah, again, Ark, price down, good. Now moving on, again, those are the deals for everyone, even if you don't have gold. Moving on to Xbox Live Gold deal specifically. 7 Days to Die, which is a fantastic horror survival game. It's been around for a while. Started out on Steam, then progressed to the console. Actually, the console version has had better, I guess, the sales and reviews than the PC version of the game has, which is, considering, it's very interesting. It's very interesting, again, because the game actually has this, I don't know why, but I guess for some reason, the console version has less bugs and technical problems than the PC version does, which is weird because the PC version came out years before the console one did. At least as far as I know. Anyway, 7 Days to Die, a fantastic zombie horror survival game, a great multiplayer game as well. Probably also is probably my favorite RC series of all time, which is they did some very fun let's plays in that. Anyway, point being, that game was $30 down to $15, great deal. Then Greedfall, which is I think I'm pretty sure it's open world. It's just a greatly detailed game, awesome, quest type of game, RPG almost. I think in certain ways, that was down from $50 down to from $50 down to $12.49. And now we're gonna move on to the final segment of our podcast. Ben, why don't you start?
Quarantine. Damn, Oliver, you don't really have much. So first off, guys, remember, as Oliver put in as an ad read, check out nippleslip.com. It's good.
That's a reference. That's a reference to Kick-Ass, by the way. That's a line from Kick-Ass. Good film.
By the way, do not type in men.com. Men.com is not what you think it is. So recently, the games I've been playing are Portal Knights, the demo, because I'm too cheap to get the actual version, and Among Us. So if you've never played Among Us, it's kind of like Mafia, if you know what I'm talking about. All right. It's pretty good.
Do you mean like Mafia style mentality, or the actual game franchise Mafia?
Do you know Mafia, like the game where you play with your friends?
Oh, okay. Got it. Okay, yeah. The thing we played all the time in drama class. I get that. Okay, because there's actually like a massive AAA franchise title called Mafia, which has been going on for several years, for quite a while. So to be fair, it's the physical interaction game that's often played in drama class and stuff like that, not the multi-console generation game spanning Mafia franchise. Got it. Okay, cool. Moving on. Yeah. Yeah, so it's actually a mobile game, and it's one of the most fun mobile games ever. You kind of need to be in a call in order to do it, sort of. You can play with friends. It's really fun, and I suggest to you that you download it. We should play sometime, but we need like 4 people to do it. Yeah. So for TV, I have finished Dark. So let's go. Nice. You should watch it. It's one of the best TV shows I've ever watched. Film, Work It, starring Sabrina Carpenter. You go, girl. And then YouTube, Hanson vs. Predator. Work It was one of the worst movies I've ever seen. I do not recommend it to anybody. What platform is it on, so you can avoid it? It's on Netflix. Is it a Netflix original film, or is this a Netflix film? I think I may have heard this. I don't know why.
It's a Netflix original film. It's a Netflix original film. You should only watch
That
it for the
explains
actors.
quite a lot. I mean, Netflix, to be fair, Netflix has had some good original films, but they've also had a lot of duds.
Kissing Booth 2.
I thought you said you already watched that.
2.
Didn't you say you watched it last week?
It's pretty good. I mean, shit. It's pretty bad. Yeah, it's bad. Kissing Booth 2, don't watch it. Okay. Anyways, Oliver, what's your...
All right, so I didn't actually write them down because I didn't really bother to do that. But music, just a power rock playlist like I always do, which is my playlist. Check the description below as always to find links to it. It's a bunch of power rock music. Again, a lot of Dragon Force, especially their new album, which is it has a lot of stuff. It has a metal cover of the theme from Titanic. All right, it's real good. Weird Al, because I don't know why. Again, listen to my 10th grade playlist, which is just my personal playlist, not on Apple Music. It's not a shared playlist, so you guys can't find that. Okay, but Green Day, stuff like that. Just a lot of cool stuff like that. Also, my Nifty playlist, which also I think is I might link that in the description. I don't know. I think it has been a few times in the description before for my Nifty playlist. Anyway, I've actually been listening to that with my friend who actually we actually mentioned her previously in the podcast. Anyway, we've actually been working together to create that playlist, which is pretty cool. Anyway, moving on down from the music section, we head into games. Wolfenstein New Order, I pretty much played that. Again, that game is multiple different ways to play that, different playing styles. And also the campaign differs greatly depending on the choice you make at the end of the first level. So actually, I have yet to play the second. Spoiler alert for a game that's almost 6 years old. I chose to kill Fergus, not Wyatt. So I have yet to play Fergus's story. So I'm going to do that probably at some point in the future anyway, because I know it doesn't change the overall outcome of the game, but it does change quite a few things, including some characters that you can unlock. Wolfenstein New Order, Forza Motorsport 7, Forza Horizon 4. I've been playing Clone Hero, which I mentioned last time. It's a Guitar Hero Rock Band clone. We download charts from the internet, and Ben, I think I sent you some of the some of the memes that I found with that, didn't I?
Yes, like the wonderful national anthem that you decided.
Oh yeah, check out my YouTube channel for some videos on that. Some decent ones and some meme ones.
You should also watch the last episode of the podcast because it seems to have 0 views for some reason.
Okay, the thing is, it says that, but I think it's called YouTube Studio, right? It's an app for. I think you can get it on. You can obviously do this with the YouTube website on the desktop version if you use a desktop, or if you request desktop site from mobile. But YouTube Studio pretty much brings a lot of the awesome thumbnails, stuff like that, different, them functions from the desktop laptop, from the non-mobile version over to mobile version. And it says that that counter is broken because it has currently, let me check. Currently it has 22 views. So that's not right. I don't know why that counter's fucked up, but it is. Anyway, apart from that, apart from that, we also have Portal Knights. Again, a very very fun game, and MLB The Show 20, as well as Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, by the way, I've been playing some older Assassin's Creed games that have slightly different controls. If you go back into that game, especially in the underworld, especially in the underworld part of the DLC map, not the Elysium level, but the one after that, right? The one's not quite Tartarus, but apart from that, right? You get the enemies in that are incredibly tough. So I played the game for the first time since I think at the beginning of quarantine today, and it is not kind to you if you forget the control scheme. I'll say that much. Apart from that, not much. TV, Titans and Doom Patrol Season 2, and I'm rewatching Titans because Titans Season 3 is coming in 2021. I'm happy about that. I'm very happy about that, actually. But apart from that, it's just other TV stuff. Superstore. That's about it. And for film, Hot Fuzz, License to Kill, Batman, Dark Knight trilogy. Weirdly, I just stated 2 different Timothy Dalton movies in a row. I don't know why I did that. Kick-Ass and Kick-Ass 2, which is just fun. Also, actually, wait, hold on. For TV, I'm also watching Stargirl for TV as well, which is the DC Universe thing. Anyway, Ben, do you want to do this one? Because I did one involving you last time, but do you want to do the outro this time?
Yeah. Pretty much anything you use. Send to jenkins123jenkins123@gmail.com. That's jenkins123jenkins123@gmail.com. Please note that was made up on the fly. It was pretty bad.
I don't actually even have a roommate yet. That was horrible.
Goodbye.